Hi friends, this is TimeNet CPOC Lab training videos, and you are watching the training video for configuring IIS in Windows Server 2008, and this is also applicable for Windows Server 2008 R2 because both of them uses IIS 7, the version of IIS. IIS is Internet Information Services, which is a web server provided by Microsoft to create and publish websites or FTP or file transfer protocol sites in your intranet or to the internet. IIS is also used for web servers like Exchange Server and SharePoint Server for their working. As I told you earlier, this IIS can be used for hosting internal and external websites. For example, if your company has an internal website for the employees, like a SharePoint website through which they manage their documents, and a website which manages the day-to-day process of your company or whatever it is. And if your company has an external website which your client uses for accessing your resources or accessing the details about your sales, details about your company, whatever it is, these types of websites can be created using IIS, and it can be hosted in them. And as I have told you, most of the application servers uses this IIS. You might have heard of this Exchange and SharePoint server, which uses web-based interfaces for logging on to them and accessing whatever resources like emails or SharePoint documents or these kind of things. So it's a very basic or very simple role in Windows Server 2008 or Windows Server 2008 R2. And so let's have a look at how we can install and configure this IIS to host a website. I am now logged on to a Windows Server machine to which I have not installed any of the roles. If I click on roles in the server manager, you can see I haven't installed any of the roles. I can click on add roles to add a new role, and here I can see the list of roles that are there in this Windows Server 2008 R2, and from there I can click on the web server role and I can click next. Here I will get an introduction about the web server or the IIS, what is the use of it and how can I use it. When I click on next, I'll get the role services, which is actually the separate role services, separate services inside this web server, which will work according to the application which you are using inside it. So whenever you install an application server, or whenever you are installing any kind of servers which need the assistance of web server, you have to select these role services according to the requirement of that particular application. For example, if you are installing Exchange Server, there are some role services which are specific for the Exchange Server, so you can install it when you are in this window. So for our purpose, we do not need any additional role services other than this default services which are already selected in this window. So you have to click next, and here you can see a summary, and when you click on install, it will start the installation. It will take less than 1 minute to get this installed, and after the installation you will again get a summary of what you have installed. You can close the window after that. Here you will get the summary of the installation. You can close it, and here you have the web server installed on this server. To manage this web server, you have a tool called Internet Information Service Manager or IIS Manager. If you open this console, you will see the server inside that console, and if you expand that server, you will see application pools and websites. So inside this sites, you will see one website called default website, which is the default website that you will have inside your IIS server when it is installed. So when you install IIS, a default website will be automatically created. When you click on the right side, there is an option called browse. When you click on it, you will be able to see it. But we will go to Internet Explorer and type in http:// and the name of the server, which is WinSPR2, and it will bring us the default website of IIS 7. So this is the default website which IIS installs of its own, and even if you haven't configured the website, or even if you haven't configured any specific settings for the web server, this website will be automatically configured, and when you access the server using HTTP, you will be able to see this website. You have to give the exact name of the web server after HTTP, or if you have a DNS server, if you know the IP address of this server, you can type in the IP address also. So you can access the website using three ways. One is the NetBIOS name of the server, the other is the DNS name if you have a DNS server in your network, and if you know the IP address, you can access this website using the IP address also. You can also access the website from the same server by typing localhost, which will give the query to the local IP address itself, so you will get the same website. You can right click on this website and you will get several options, and there is an option to stop this website. So what we will do is we will stop this. We have already stopped this website now by right clicking on it, and now we will try to add one website into this. Before going on to the addition of the website, there is one more thing that you have to do. You should be having a file, an HTML file that you will use as the website page. So I have this website page called website.html inside this directory website inside the C drive, so that I can use this website page for my website. So it resides inside the local disk C, and if I open it, I will see this page. So this is the website that I am trying to host inside this IIS server. So inside IIS manager, you have to right click and make sure that the default website is stopped, and after that you can right click on sites and click on add sites, and you can give a name to the site. This does not have anything to do with the name of the website through which we are accessing it. It is just to identify the website with inside this IIS server manager. Like the name default website, we are giving a name to identify this website inside the IIS manager. After that, you can give the physical path, means the path where you have saved the website files. That is the path inside the C drive and the website folder. And now you can give the binding, whether it is HTTP or HTTPS, or if you want to assign an IP address directly to that website. I'll give all unassigned. That means it will use all the IP addresses which are available there. And if you want to use a host name like www.condoso.com, that you have to give it here, but you need a DNS server working for it to use that option. When I click OK, a message will appear saying that the binding *:80 is assigned to another site. If you assign the same binding to this site, you will only be able to start one of the sites. So this message is related to the default website, because we are already running a website in it, default website. Even if it is shut down, it exists there in the IIS manager, and it is configured to use the *:80. That means all unassigned IP address with port 80. That is the default port of HTTP with it. So now we have a conflict because we have created a new site with the same setting, all unassigned and the port 80. So that is the meaning of this message. So you can ignore it by clicking on yes, because the other website, the default website, is already shut down, so you do not have to worry about it. So I'll click on yes, and now our website is started and running. To make sure that everything is working fine, you can just click on restart on the right side, and inside site you can refresh it once again. Now if you go to Internet Explorer and type in WinServer localhost or WinServer R2, you will get a message saying that the web server is configured to not list the contents of the directory. HTTP error 403 forbidden. If you try clicking on browse on the right side of the website, you will get the same error. This is because you haven't configured the default document of this website. That means you haven't added the file which will work as the home page for this website. So even if you have configured the directory where the website files reside, you have to make sure that the file or the HTML page which you are using as your home page, which should be added to your default document. So I'll open the default document, and you can see the default list of home pages there. You can click on add to add the new one, and give the name website.html and click on OK. And now just refresh the website, and if you click on browse, you'll be able to see the website that we have configured. So this is how you can configure the website. If you type in the name also, you will be able to see the website. So our web server is up and running right now. Now we will go to a client machine, and we will see how we can access this same website from a Windows 7 machine which is running on the same network. I'm now on a Windows 7 machine, and I'll log on as an administrator or any user I want. And after logging in, I will open the Internet Explorer, and will check whether I am in the same IP range. No, I am not in the same IP range. My server is in 1.0 IP range, 192.168.1.0, so I have to make changes to the IP address. I have given 192.168.1.20 to the client, and now we are ready. We'll go to Internet Explorer and type in http://192.168.1.10, which is the IP address of my server, and I'll press enter, and I'll get the web page that I've created inside the server. So I am able to access this website in the LAN. I am using the IP address, and it is all working fine. So this is how you install, create and manage your website using IIS. This is the basic settings for IIS. You can do a lot more than this using Internet Information Services in Windows Server 2008 or Windows Server 2008 R2. But in this video we just watched how we can install and configure a basic website inside IIS. I hope this was informative for you, and thank you for watching. For more video and online trainings, please visit www.timenet.co.in and our Facebook page for our real-time training facility, the CPOC Lab. You can visit the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/cpoc-lab, and you'll get a lot of information about technology that we are using there. Thank you once again for watching.